No condom though. No condom though.
Yo, how corrupt said he only knows one X.
You get shredded like provolone.
I only know one Malone. Hey, how corrupt said he only knows one X. I only know one Malone.
True, but X is different because so many people. It's like
That was
X is like such a rare letter. It's like anyone with X in their name gets called X. Like Exhibit,
but
DMX, Triple X extension cord, fucking.
Yeah, but when
Tentacion.
When corrupt said that shit was fire.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of people say shit that's fire.
Calling out names.
I like when people call out names. There's enough subliminal shit like.
Corrupt called out names. That was
like
the name of the song.
Hove, my whole
That was the
career,
name of the
I've had
song.
to decipher subliminals from.
Eh?
I like when people just
Yo.
call out names.
Call
And you know
out
what?
names.
It's not that ill. Corrupt came up with a song calling out names. And
Yeah.
Out of all this shit that's fucking going on nowadays, all this subliminal shit, Corrupt, his diss track was called Calling Out Names.
But isn't that kind of the thing that like Kendrick homaged when he did the whole King in New York thing too? Like,
part of that, yeah.
wasn't that? I don't know. I know he homaged some
Corrupt, yeah.
Corrupt bars. I don't know if they're from
Yeah.
that joint, but like that kind of an idea still. Like, that was a very corrupt homage type of thing.
It was.
But do you know what it is?
New York, I'm a Muslim on pork.
Yeah, you know,
and line or something.
yeah. And the thing is, at the end of the day, like hip hop artists always been sensitive, but there used to be a thing with originality. Like if you look back in hip hop, like Kool Moe D, his only beef with LL is that he bit his style. Can you imagine someone beefing with someone nowadays because they bit their style? Like the internet would have you looking like you're crazy. They'd be making memes about you and shit
with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like some of the greatest beefs in history.
Yeah.
Plot over that kind of shit. Like somebody being like, "Yo, this dude bit my style." Like Cypress Hill versus Ice Cube. You know what I mean? It was more like a hook idea, Jack. But it's still like it's like a like in those days you didn't bite someone's style.
So,
And that's one thing I think about the game that's really missing right now. And the thing I think is funny is everybody wants to fit into the same pocket and be the same artist because they think they're going to quote unquote sell records. But yet the only guys that people talk about, though they might not get the most views on Spotify first week, which equate to record sales nowadays, whatever. But these are the dudes are talking about. Like Eminem put his album out. People are like, yo, Joyner's on there. You know what I mean? Joyner ain't one of the best selling artists.
No.
But you know what he is? He's somebody that people look and they're like, yo, this guy's pen game is crazy. Like Kendrick, to me personally, and I'm going to catch flack for this, but to me, Kendrick is overrated. Like, he's never given me goosebumps or given me that wow moment where I'm like, whoa.
He is to me.
He's got some really dope shit. Like, he is a dope artist.
As we're saying in the podcast, he's saying that. Yo, Kendrick has had fucking whoa moments for me. Like, the Damn album.
It's dope, man. But like, the thing is, the older you grow in hip hop and the more you know the culture, there's different things that affect you, right? And like, here's a good example. And I don't mean to like stand myself out or nothing, because I haven't really been a fan of Eminem till recent with this new album. I was kind of fucking with it. I gotta give it more time still, but I'm impressed. It's the first time I'm impressed with an Eminem album in a while. But the point I'm getting to is like, Rock Bottom, if I had, like, these songs stopped me from committing suicide.
Rock Bottom is the best Eminem song of all time.
It's in the top 5 best hip-hop songs of all time, in my opinion. And when I see people hating on Eminem, I'm like, yo,
Rock Bottom is
the thing is, you guys are crazy because everyone else who has a more successful run doesn't have a rock bottom. They don't have a if I had. Like, some artists do, but a lot of them don't, man. And these are, like, I literally have stopped myself from putting a razor blade to my wrist at a point in my younger life to these songs. So I'm like, yo, someone else feels the way I do. They even feel a little worse. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think, like, these are the important messages from, you know, though he was a misogynistic, you know, fucking very ignorant, what's the word I'm looking for? Sarcastic. You know, all that shit built the character. But there's those certain songs that, like, you can't take away from. And that's what I think makes a difference. Like, has Kendrick ever made a song where you're like, yo, like, this changed my life?
He's coming very close.
He comes close, but man, that's why Nas is in that category. Nas
has
has made songs.
Yo, Nas to me, like, I'll explain why Nas is my favorite MC, because in this,
He makes songs that have changed your life.
He's made songs that changed my life, and like his perspective.
Slug of Atmosphere.
It might be just who I am as a person.
That matters a lot.
That matters a lot, but like Nas had a lot of perspectives on records that like I felt like
yeah,
the way like not even just like he's great skill wise, but like some of the way he's put perspectives has made me feel like he knows exactly what I'm going through right now.
Do you know what the crazy thing is? And this is another thing, it could be controversial, but so Nas's best album is Illmatic, but none of his best songs are on Illmatic. Would any of you agree with that?
His best songs were not on Illmatic.
None of his best songs are on that album, but that is his best album.
Hold on, I said this earlier.
Because his other best songs to me spread throughout his career. Yeah. It's songs like I Gave You Power. It's songs like What Goes Around. It's songs even like Sly Fox, Daughters.
Well, like,
these are the types of songs that define him.
no, that's what I mean. There's songs that he did that are like
Stillmatic might be
like way bigger and better than
albums.
almost ones that I like. Like I Can and stuff was a
I
lot
Can-
better than like stuff that I like. You know,
One
off
mic.
Illmatic.
Aside from him saying Alexander the Great shot the Sphinx, because that's
Yeah, he had some
not
weird,
really factual.
He had some weird
but
stuff.
everything aside from that, like that song, especially that verse, is like so powerful, and that was being dropped to us like mainstream
is-
television 3 times a day, like when we were watching BT and shit.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you're too young to pick up the knowledge, but like you had an artist like Nas with that opportunity, that kind of a fan base, you know, somebody who Steve Stout already tried to pimp out, sell out, and he's like, nah, fuck it. So Steve Stout moves a J, and Nas just keeps doing his thing. Fucking Stillmatic was a hit. Godson was a hit. I Can is one of his biggest hits of his career, and the content of that, that's like the biggest political content to get that big since Public Enemy.
And we were saying like Illmatic is the people's favorite album, but like honestly, if I'm gonna pick, like I said, Nas is my favorite artist. If I'm gonna pick
Word.
my favorite album by Nas, it's Stillmatic.
See, to me, I say Illmatic is his best album. I don't disagree. It is probably the best album in hip hop. If not, it's in that top 5 easily.
But,
But
like,
to me, none of his best songs are on that album. Like throughout his career, he's made albums that are worse, but there's songs on them that are better than the songs on that album.
But also, it comes down to exactly who you are as a person. I feel like on Stillmatic, his back was against the wall. He felt like his mom just died.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was going out.
No, I feel like that's Godson, because that's where it's like, one more dance with you, mama.
Right before he made Stillmatic, his mom died during that process.
Did she? I thought she died during before Godson.
No.
So Godson was more reflecting on getting to kind of the bag of your emotions.
So like his mom died during Stillmatic.
Okay.
And Jay-Z
Dance.
was going.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Like, who has made a song like Dance?
And also like another song like I thought
Like, the whole song is about your mom
You're
dying.
the
and
man.
It's Dance. You're the man's dope. But that's
Second
what I mean.
Childhood-
Like,
Second Childhood on there.
yo, to me, that's actually, to me personally, it's funny you mentioned that.
That's
'Cause
one of my
Preem,
favorite
I
night-
am a huge Preem enthusiast. To me,
Hold on.
Second Childhood is one of Preem's worst beats of all time, in my
What?
opinion. And Second
wait,
Opinion,
what?
not one of Nas' best joints.
Yo, that is where we completely disagree.
Yeah.
Because like Second Childhood to me is like a top 5 Nas song to me.
I would much rather listen to What Goes Around on that album.
What Goes Around is dope, fire on that, and
Doctors
and,
injecting the infants, like
and the
that shit is just so like.
you're the flies with AZ,
I see. I'm not even that huge on the flyest
but like yo,
or the essence. Mo Money, Mo Murder, Mo
Second
Homicide,
Childhood?
and
Second Childhood, you don't feel that.
what's the fucking joint
Yo.
Nas and AZ did where it's like
Yeah, that's crazy.
packed
you
like a
don't feel
midget's
that.
closet, and they both rap crazy on it. What's that one called? Serious. Serious is the
I
best
forgot
joint they ever
about
did
that.
One.
together. That shit's fire.
One, yo,
The track is fire.
yo,
Second Childhood, man.
That's
it
like
don't-
a fucking phenomenal song to me.
No, to me, man, it don't even
Like,
it
it-
don't compare even with classic. It don't even compare with fucking.
What?
There's no way it compares to I Gave You Power. There's no way it compares to Nas's Like. There's no way it compares to New York State of Mind. No way it compares to fucking Memory Lane. No way it compares to Represent either versions. No way. Like Come and Get Me is the only other Primo and Nas joint I could say like those two are like in the same box of. And even Come and Get Me is still kind of like
I completely disagree.
it's kind of more fire. But Second Childhood to me, nah, man, I don't know.
That's something we're gonna
Disagree on?
Disagree on because Second Childhood to me is like, man, like we are different on.
It's
on
artistic as shit.
Hip hop taste, but like we are different on hip hop taste. But like yeah, that song to me is like a fucking phenomenal. That's like even like
Personally, I put
it.
it in Preem's worst 10 beats of all time. What do you think?
Yeah. So I
Second
can see
Childhood?
that. Yeah.
You agree with
Nas,
that?
I can see that.
I'm just saying Preem of all
I'd have
time.
to
Like
think, but like, you know what I mean?
Strongly disagree.
Preem's worst beats of all time. Like Second Childhood might
Strongly.
be in that list.
Strongly disagree.
10 worst.
That's a song to me that
I think Preem's worst beat personally is
and like what Nas talks about on the song, like he's so like he describes like every like he describes so many people that we know.
I give you that, like the lyrics aren't bad. I just the song.
They're great. They're great on that song.
Do you
Okay.
know what I think is like a version of Second Childhood that's better though? Is Get Down. Blaze of 50.
Well, those are the way different songs.
I don't know. They like
That
that
James
story
Brown
they put you in.
sample.
Oh man,
Ooh.
Get Down is so fire.
Get Down is fire too. Yeah.
So fire.
And Blaze of 50. Like Nas has great songs. But
He has great storytelling ability. He doesn't use it enough.
his storytelling, like I for my sake, go back and listen to Second Childhood and give it another perspective.
Yeah, it's just to me. I guess. Do you know what the difference is too? Like, I didn't grow up watching Second Childhood from a perspective of someone who's loved Preem their whole life because I was a youngin', right? So I come from the perspective of someone who goes back and does the research in their history. And after I learned that like 50 of my favorite hip hop songs of all time from like a large span of different artists were all produced by Preem, not to mention all the Gangstar records, I was like, okay, this dude is my favorite producer. Because all these songs that are my favorite songs by all of these artists, he's produced. And then all the Gangstar shit I love. So I'm like, all right. So then I started digging for Preem, right? And then that's when I became a Preem enthusiast. And that's when I started looking. So then, when you find joints like Second Childhood, you're like, yeah, I remember listening to this. You're like, really? This is Preem? You're like, I remember thinking joints like Crack Attack by Fat Joe was Preem because it was so fire, but it's actually Clark Kent making a Primo style beat. And a lot of artists did that in the late 90s and early 2000s. A lot of dudes use that Primo boom bap style, but it wasn't Preem, right? But coming up, you almost assume that shit's over Preem than some shit like Second Childhood. And I don't know, just like when you go back and peep, you're like, oh man, like, I don't know.
We're listening to two different songs.
No, man. Second Childhood's what a flow for the streets. Who else could it be? NAS. Nas. There's like offbeat patterns. Like there's a part where the beat switches up in random parts, and I think it only goes for like 3 loops, not 4, and shit like that.
Yeah.
And to me, that shit's cool and artistic. Like Stakes is High by De La Soul. And to me, top 25, at least 50 best hip-hop records of all time. And that was the first hip-hop song that didn't run on a 4-beat pattern. If you listen, it runs, I think, on a 6-beat pattern. The doon, 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 doon. Like, you know what I mean? It should have went for 2 more beats to be a full 8, but it goes on a 3. And the way they all ride that beat, like, you would never notice that. Like, to me, that's genius in being offbeat. To me, Second Childhood, it was just like, to me personally, it was almost like forced offbeat. It was like, just like, let's hit him left field, Preem. And I'm like, nah.
Another reason why I think I feel like Second Childhood is like, the shit he's talking about, like, it's like I picture.
The shit he's talking about is dope.
Like,
I don't disagree.
I picture the people that he's talking about.
But just to me, like
people that I know in my life, and like songs like that's how they connect with you, like
yeah,
like these. He's writing about people that I almost know.
Yeah, the way he puts it down.
The way he puts it down in Second Childhood, he's like, yo, these people are like, they never actually grew up.
And that's why Blaze of 50 is a bad example. But what was the other song I used? It was a good example. Get Down. That's a good example. He says the same shit. He's talking about, like, he vividly paints his childhood. Like, the 2 squad cars enter the block. I ain't flinch as they want. I went upstairs, bathroom mirror, looking at a young disciple, and then goes into the courtroom, the homie, you know what I mean? Like, put up a fist for black power because all I want is freedom. He pulled the CO's gun, said, started squeezing everybody. Get like, just like the way he paints the pictures, and then he talks about like the OGs and like the South who were schooling them and shit. Like, that whole song paints a picture.